So the brain is a marvelous organ. It's my favorite organ, and it's very sensitive to the environment. So from moment to moment, our brains are bombarded by stimuli from our senses. And whether I'm looking at a computer screen or reading a book or having a conversation, the information comes in my ears, in my eyes. It's translated into little neurochemical packets that are transmitted across little synapses or connection sites between the brain cells or neurons. And all the information is understood, is compartmentalized and processed. And it's quite a remarkable thing that our brain is doing. Now, one thing that's quite interesting is that if the brain spends a lot of time with a specific mental task over and over again, the neural circuits that control that task will strengthen. It'll actually grow synapses. If we neglect certain tasks, the neural circuits that control those tasks will weaken. And I think this is an issue we're facing right now because young people, the digital natives, are spending so much time with their technology that their technological circuits are great. They can use this technology, communicate with their friends from moment. They can use this technology, communicate with their friends from moment to moment. Search online is marvelous what they can do. But they're not spending enough time talking to each other face to face. So having eye contact, recognizing nonverbal cues, the neural circuits controlling those mental tasks, I'm concerned that they are weakening. There was a recent study that involved about 200 young people, ages 17 to 23. And the task involved watching a face morph from a neutral expression to either an angry expression or to a happy face. And they found that when these young people played a violent video game before the face recognition task, it had a significant effect on their ability to recognize the emotional expression from the face. Now that's some systematic scientific data, but many parents will notice in their kids if they play too many video games, if they spend too much time with their technology, that they're not looking at them in the eye, that they become irritable, that there are personality changes. And I think this is a whole area that is just beginning to emerge as an area of study. No one's directly studied the brain effects of text messaging, but it's an interesting phenomenon. I'm sure it's increasing some neural circuits, diminishing others. It has an interesting effect on people, and in fact, young people use it so much that I found that college educators, professors, are having trouble getting the kids to stop texting during class. They even take 5-minute text breaks halfway through the class, you know. It's inconceivable to me that they're doing this, but they're doing it. Now, it's an interesting phenomenon how it's affecting the way we think and the way we relate. I think there may be issues with creativity, thinking outside the box. I mean, everybody is so connected. We're like a colony of ants or bees, checking ideas from moment to moment and not stopping to spend time and ponder thoughts. In fact, we have a staccato quality to our thinking. It's just like we're jumping from thought to thought as we do. We're jumping from thought to thought just the way we jump from website to website. So there's a sacrifice of depth of thinking for breadth of thinking. Let me say this, there's an upside, and that is that the brain is malleable at any age. We found that in our older volunteers, and we know that in young people as well. So we can understand what we're doing to our brains, and we can change our behavior, and our brains will repair themselves. They'll come back pretty quickly. Well, just as we found with our Brain on Google study that we could significantly activate neural circuits in just a week, we can change people's behaviors, which will alter their brain neurocircuitry. So it's the same principle as how much time you spend on a task, how that will determine those neural circuits. Most of these changes are not permanent. Certainly, very early in development, there can be permanent damage if there's deprivation or other kinds of insults to the brain. But most of the time, we can't change it. The problem is, if these are long-term habits, people are often very resistant to change, especially if they're addicted to a technology. It's very hard to give up smoking, and it's very hard for some people to give up their technology.